Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhart here with you. Week 3 LL League football videos. This is video number 1. Seems like we're still wrapping up week 2. What a crazy week that was with the flooding and the rain, and it was awful. Games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But we press on here. We go to week 3. So video number 1 this week. Talk about the Section 1 games, last week of non-league, next week section openers. So I'll hit on the 8 games here involving the LL teams for week 3, which got here really quick, didn't it? Okay, here we go. Fire away. First up, Cedar Crest at Hershey. Friday night at Hershey Park Stadium, don't forget. Got to see Cedar Crest on Sunday. Tough game for the Falcons. They scored some points, but they fumbled 3 times, and they had a goofy play at the start of the third quarter. Conrad Weiser kicked off, and for whatever reason, the Crest kick team let the ball go. I don't know if they thought it was going to go out of bounds or go to the end zone, but the ball rolled dead. Conrad Weiser picked it up and had an 8-yard drive. So Weiser over Crest. Crest is 0-2. Doing some things offensively, and they got the Bowler kid back now to run the ball. Baylor back to run the ball a little bit. And Levingood and Cascarino are both taking snaps. Garrett's taking more snaps, but Cascarino's been in there and thrown a couple passes. So they'll go on the road. They'll go to Hershey Park Stadium and play Hershey, which is playing well. Trojans are 2-0, coming off a win over an LL team. They beat Elizabethtown on Sunday, 51-14. Keep an eye on Zach Dreyer, the quarterback. Apparently they're running like an option kind of a scheme, and he's played really well in their first 2 games. Hershey over Milton Hershey in week 1. So another tricky test for Crest. Got to go on the road and get a 2-0 Hershey team that's doing some things and scoring some points. Next up, Dallastown at Penn Manor. A couple of 1-1 teams. Dallastown played in LL. They played Warwick in week 1, beat them 10-6. Lost in week 2. I know Dallastown's breaking in a lot of new guys. They lost some studs from last season, and they got shut out last week by Redland. So they're coming off a sort of a humbling shutout loss. They'll come to Penn Manor. Saw the comments on Saturday. I think it was Saturday. All the days are running together at this point from week 2. 15-9 loss at LS. Penn Manor just could not punch it in. 4 times in the second half they had a 4th down conversion try, and LS stopped them twice in the red zone. And there was a play at the end, kind of last ditch, 4th down, time running out. Adam Sod threw one up towards a fade towards the far sideline. Pass interference, not pass interference, I don't know. Everybody just sort of winked after the game, and it was a no call, so it happens. So Penn Manor goes down in that game. They go to 1-1. They'll host Dallastown, looking to go to 2-1 and get momentum going into Section 1 schedule. Next up, E-Town at Manheim Township. Opposite directions here. E-Town's 0-2. Struggling a tad. They're down to 2 quarterbacks now. Don't forget 3 kids played in week 1. And they had a tough go with Hershey, gave up 51 points. So E-Town's getting up a bunch of points here in 2 weeks. Keep an eye on Kirby Brault, the wideout. I think he's up to a dozen catches already. Had a really long touchdown catch last week. So he's somebody to keep an eye on for E-Town for sure. They'll go over to Township, playing well. Don't forget week 1 they had the OT loss at Central Dauphin, but did some things. Saw them on Friday night against Red Lion. Very good game. Township jumped out 28-10. Red Lion came all the way back, had an onside kick, took the lead. Township comes down, takes advantage of a couple of penalties, including a roughing the passer call. Boom, they scored the horn and win it, 34-31. Scott Saladay plunges in from the 2. Great drive, and Township wins that, and much needed win. They needed that coming off a week 1 OT loss. So Township picking up steam, picking up momentum off a really good win over Red Lion. They'll get E-Town, which is looking to pick up the pieces here and just get something going. Next up, Ephrata at Conestoga Valley. Don't forget, Ephrata won this game last year, 7-3. And then CV ended up going on, getting to 5-5 and getting back to districts. Ephrata comes in 0-2. Lost on Monday night to Cocalico 28-15. Jeremy Frank had a big night. He passed for 225 yards and a couple of scores. Not much of a running attack yet for Ephrata. Coach Phelan said they're going to try to open it up a little bit, take advantage of Frank's passing, and they have. They have a couple of kids up there with the receiving leaders already. They'll play a CV team coming off a win over Warwick on Friday. They did play Friday, 23-16. Anthony Brown had a big night. and Terrence Taylor had a good night running the ball. Both those guys had a bunch of yards. CV's line must be playing well because they're getting yards on the ground. So keep an eye on the trenches in that one. And the Bucs want some payback for last year, losing that game to Ephrata 7-3. Ephrata at CV. A couple more. Hempfield at Central York. Wow, Hempfield. 46-6 loss to Lancaster Catholic last week. After doing some really good things in week 1, scoring 24 points against LS, getting a bunch of yards. Catholic beat them up pretty good, played good defensively, and Hempfield, you know, just with the one score. Keep an eye on Joe Gamble in this one. He's up over 200 yards rushing for Hempfield, so they got the spread going. They're doing some things. I think they're heading in the right direction, but they had to play LS and Lancaster Catholic out of the chute, and both of those teams are very good, and they're both 2-0, by the way. Hempfield goes to Central York. A couple more. Warwick at Garden Spot, good backyard rivalry kind of game. This is a Blue Ridge TV game. Don't forget, I think it's tape delay. I don't think it comes on until 8 or 9 o'clock. Warwick 0-2. Lost to Dallastown, lost to Conestoga Valley. I know there was some QB problems. I think Farnan might have some kind of an injury. Forney took some snaps. Keep an eye on Warwick. Still love their line, still love their defense, and the dudes in the trenches are quite good. And this will be a good test against Garden Spot. Spot week 1, 35-0 over Twin Valley, but then they come back in week 2. They did play Friday over at Dover, lost. So they did not keep the momentum going from the week 1 win. See if they can, you know, pick up the pace again. Good backyard kind of a game here. Warwick at Garden Spot. Next up, Reading at Wilson. Good old Burke's backyard rivalry game. These guys don't get along. Always fierce when these two teams play. They were Section 1 rivals for years, and now Reading's back over in the Burke's League. So Wilson coming off a good win Monday over Mannheim Central. Rodney Gillen is back. Rushed for 216 yards and 3 touchdowns, including an 80-yard burst when he turned on the jets and the track speed and took off. This is the home opener for Wilson. They'll get a Reading team that's 1-1, beat York in week 1, but then got tripped up by Owen J. Roberts in week 2. Throw the records out with these two. This one's always a good one, although Wilson won last year 60-0. So I think Reading might want a little payback. Last one, game of the week. McCaskey at Lancaster Catholic. I'll get you a live blog from there. Expect a huge crowd. 10,000 plus last year over at McCaskey. I'm thinking it'll probably be about the same, even though these guys are going in different directions. McCaskey's 0-2. Fun, funky offensive numbers. Julio's got a bunch of passing yards. Cherry has 17 catches already, but McCaskey hasn't stopped anybody. They're giving up almost 500 yards a game. Lancaster Catholic 2-0. Trinity win in OT, and then they beat up on Hempfield last week 46-6. Bunch of yards, bunch of crooked numbers. Catholic's averaging about 465 yards a game on offense. So tall test for McCaskey defensively to hold the Crusaders down. Nobody really has yet, and this is a home game for them, so they're going to get that big whopper crowd. So it should be a fun atmosphere. Check me Friday night. I'll get you a live blog. Exhale. Okay, that's section 1, video 1 for week 3, and stay tuned for video 2 and 3, and enjoy the games on Friday. Thanks.